boy, just be yourself. If people don't like you if you're being yourself, fuck them.
It's Big Los,
Hollywood Kev,
and welcome to another episode of The Noize on iHeartRadio. Don't forget to follow at The Noize Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We are back. We are late per the usual. We really need to get back to doing these Sunday shows, Kev.
Yeah. If I wasn't dying, then it would have been.
Right. I want to talk about that real quick. We ain't got to go too much into it, but that shit was too fucking funny to just pass up. So Kev had a South Park moment. And you may not remember this episode. I think it was like it's either Stan or Kyle's dad. He ate something he shouldn't have been eating, and it was just happening.
Nah, I don't remember that episode. But in a nutshell, that's really what it was.
You can go ahead and tell the story. You never have a good story. We need some better Hollywood Kev stories.
I just need to stop eating certain foods.
Hey man, get you every time.
Yeah, man. Ate some new Hispanic food, some new Mexican food, and although it tasted good going down, not so much coming back up.
There's a little tart coming up.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Just chunks and just it made me think like, damn, am I chewing my food all the way?
Nah,
like,
there's no way. You just knocking that back.
But yeah, man.
I eat food like I take shots. One take.
Yeah, man. It was I thought I was dying. Like I truly thought something was wrong. Like I've never felt so lethargic, just so you know what I mean? Like
we've all been there, unfortunately.
It was bad. It was bad. So I got to take these antibiotics. But then I should be back to normal after that.
I think that's why I stopped drinking so crazy when I go out for parties and stuff like that. Because when I was young, 21, 22, I would still wake up the next, which so is weird to say when I was young. But anyway, 21, 22, college, nigga, I go out, fuck up some drinks, but I'll pay for it in the morning. That's fine. But that'd be some of the worst pain in the world the next day. Yeah.
It's crazy though, because back then, you know, you get drunk, you hungover. Like the next day, you messed up for majority of the day, but you good.
Right.
Now,
and that's
it takes like 3-4 days to get back to normal.
I'm afraid of. I don't want to wake up right now at 28 and just be crying just because I drank last night.
You wake up the next day, you're like, okay, it's going to get better. Then you wake up the next day, and it's still not better.
It sounded like my man from the United Airlines, kills me, kills me.
I forgot about that.
Shout out to the
He was like, why would you? No, don't kill me.
Just get the fuck off the plane.
Right.
That's all I want.
That's crazy. But no, I'm getting back there. I mean, I had a little mild episode earlier today, but other than that, I'm good.
Was it like that explosive to like once you sit down, it's just like, and you just cover the whole?
No, I wasn't talking about that end. I was talking about the
it was all front end.
Yeah, I'm talking about the front end. The back
which
end,
is just as
the
bad.
back end stuff that kind of died down after yesterday. Maybe about yesterday. Yesterday morning, yeah.
Maybe somebody set you up. What comment did you make while waiting on your food?
No, I didn't make no comments.
You sure?
I've
seen your Twitter. I
was excited to try this new food.
I guess it's kind of going to shame the place, but where was the place? Like, what was the place called?
Super Burrito.
Oh, you never had Super Burrito before?
No, there's one like by my house, like walking distance to my house. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And like I said, it was good.
Yeah, Super Burrito was fire.
It was good. It was fire, all right. It was definitely fire.
In many ways. In all the ways possible.
The crazy part is, man, I don't know if maybe I just got a bad batch. Like, I'm going to chill off them for a while, but I can't say that I'm going to not fuck with them again.
Now, if you go back and the same thing happens.
If I go back and the same thing happens, I'm suing. Because obviously they got something going on.
Something's going on at this Super Burrito. Why don't you try going to another Super Burrito?
I didn't know there was other ones.
Yeah, it's a chain out here for sure.
I really didn't know. Like, I've only seen that one. I haven't seen them anywhere else. So, yeah, you're right. Maybe I'll try a different one.
Try a different one, see what happens. And if Super Burrito want to cut the check, holla at us. We have no problem squeezing in a Super Burrito, little plug here. We'll act like this never happened. We'll delete this entire episode. Call for it. So you know how I like watching random shit on Netflix. I'm starting to dive more into the not so movie TV show related shit.
What do you mean?
So you remember when I was talking about comedians in cars getting coffee?
Oh yes, I
Seinfeld
started watching
joint.
that.
It's
dope.
What do you think about it?
I thought it was great. I thought it was great because you got to really dive into them being people.
Exactly, and that's what I love about it.
You know what I mean? You got to dive in, and he has some dope cars.
Very dope cars.
But it was cool. You got to dive in them actually being people. You really got to see Seinfeld kind of, I don't want to say be an asshole because it's just him, but kind of be an asshole in a sense. Maybe because we look at him in a celebrity light.
But I think that's his natural personality.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can tell like some of the people that were coming by that, it's not scripted. He was like, man, get the fuck away from here. Like,
right,
that's
exactly.
the vibe he was giving off. But I thought it was a dope project overall.
I thought it was dope. The new one I just started watching, and I can't even say just started watching because it only has one episode, but they promoted hella episodes. But the new one is David Letterman's new show on there.
I was going to watch that, but I'm not a huge fan of David Letterman.
Me neither. I'm not even really familiar with a lot of stuff he does. But you can tell he had a lot of freedom doing this than what he did on his show.
Gotcha.
Now, it's called David Letterman, and my next guest needs no introduction. I think that's what it is. I always butcher the show name. But the commercial sets it up that he's talking to Clooney, he's talking to Jigga,
I thought it was a whole bunch of episodes.
It's supposed to be a whole bunch of episodes, but for some reason there's only one that's up there. And that's the one I watched, and that's the one with Barack Obama, which is, first of all, that's a great debut for a show.
Hell yeah.
If you're going to get anybody, Obama's a great person to go and get.
He's the pilot, man.
Right. So I champion comedians in cars getting coffee. I would definitely like to champion that show as well. Because that was an amazing, like, it was nothing like what he did for Late Night or Tonight. No, Tonight. Which one was Tonight Show? Tonight Show was Jay Leno, right?
Yeah, I think it was Late Night.
So it was Late Night.
Late Night with David Letterman. Yep.
Yeah, because that's Seth Meyers. Exactly. Boom. So it's completely different than what he did with Late Night because you could tell he was on a very scripted format. He had to make sure he hit everything in a certain amount of time so that way they can please the advertisers for commercials and all this other shit. This was just, again, an organic conversation. Getting to know somebody. He asked the questions that we really didn't get a chance to find out about Barack. You know what I mean? Barack spoke heavily on his daughters. He spoke, on his love for his wife, and it was just a great conversation. And I'm thinking doing these podcasts, getting so into podcasts, is getting me more and more into interviewing and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because like I said, dude, they had a really great conversation. Took shots at Trump, which I'm really happy about.
Of course. Wait, Barack did?
Both of them.
Okay, well, I figured
but
Letterman would. But
Barack is smooth, so he can say stuff, and it's like, you got to be an intellectual to really appreciate it. Like,
he got them Jay-Z subliminals.
Exactly. Barack is the Jay-Z of politics.
Gotcha.
Stamp it. Or hashtag it, one or the other. But yeah, it was a really good show, and it pissed me off because I'm like, where the fuck are the rest of the episodes at? Now I want to see what
Need
you
some
and
more of this shit.
I want to see what you and Jay-Z talked about.
Right.
They're going to have the fucking nerve to show the commercial with him and George Clooney. I guess that's the next episode. And then the episode not be on Netflix.
Maybe they might be trying to introduce Netflix as do it like a weekly
Make it like
TV
an actual
thing,
season.
You know what I mean? Because Netflix trying to shake up shit and take over. So maybe they might do it that way. Make it instead of, for certain shows like this one, instead of putting it all out there at once, they may be trying to do like a weekly thing.
I can see that, but that'll get annoying because now I'm just used to what Netflix normally like, here goes a season.
Right, exactly. That's why I say they probably got to do it with select stuff because if they try to do that with like Stranger Things, I'm like, no, give me all my shit at one time.
I need all that. I'm trying to finish this today.
Right.
Speaking of Netflix, this is definitely called an Audible. Did you see Cat Williams' special?
I have to rewatch it.
What did you think about your first watch?
Honestly, I can't even give you. The reason I have to rewatch is because it was a lot going on in my house, so I couldn't really pay attention.
Gotcha.
When I did pay attention, I heard a few jokes and I was like, okay, that's kind of funny, but to really, I honestly, I can't even talk about it because I really don't know.
Got you. Well, I'm going to talk about it.
I've been seeing people on Twitter say it was actually funny.
It was funny. It wasn't old Cat. He definitely didn't have the energy that he had younger, but of course, age and drugs would do that.
Right. I did see that man was sweating.
Yo, his first joke, he was on. He was just sweating.
Like, boy, I was
and
like,
I'm convinced
drenched.
I'm convinced that he lives out in Jacksonville, Florida, because the first 10 minutes of his set were specifically centered about Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, really?
He was even naming the hoods. I think it was Jacksonville, Florida.
Maybe then.
But yeah, he has to be living out there to know that kind of stuff. So now we know where he got choked out at. But it was a good show. I wish it was on some older Cat Williams shit, the way that Dave Chappelle kind of gave you traditional Dave Chappelle. You can tell there was some form of political correctness there that if this had been 2006, 2007, he probably would have touched on. But because of it, he's like, I can't say what I want. I'm just not going to say anything at all. In his case, I understand because you're bouncing back from a lot of shit.
Yeah, maybe it's just this special. Maybe the next one might be.
Yeah, it could be the next one. It could be the next one. Now I'm thinking about it.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was dope. I thought it was dope. I would definitely rewatch it. I look forward to what the next special will be, being, now that the world has been reintroduced to Cat Williams. And again, I love when comedians just take ownership of any kind of thing they've gone through.
Right.
Because he spoke up about all that shit.
Okay.
And he teased himself at that. He had a joke where he was talking about, when last time we went to jail, they didn't even take a picture. They have him go through the Rolodex of the old photos. Like, not use that one. That was a good one. You know what I mean? Like, I really appreciate his honesty and his transparency with the show. I want more honesty and transparency because he answered some questions, but Cat, we got a lot of stories out of you while you've been gone.
So, with that being said, it sounds like you have something that you didn't like about it as well. What didn't you like about
it? The energy.
Okay.
I understand when you get to a certain age, especially because he was such a high energy performer. I felt like some of the jokes would have hit better if he wasn't winded.
Gotcha.
So it kind of came across as he did a lot of practicing, but he didn't do a Showtime performance.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Prior to the actual Showtime performance.
As a comedian, what do you do to be able to get up there and give energy like that? Like, what do you go jog? You know what I mean? Like, do you work out like it's like you're training for something? Like, what do you do?
Well, from some of my comedian friends, I just realized how arrogant that sounded. But from some of my comedian friends, they do their whole set in the mirror. Then they do a set for their brutally honest peers. And then they start hitting the chitlin circuits. They start hitting the small clubs. They start hitting the dive bars. Like they test it. You know what I'm saying? They see what works and what didn't work. Once you get to the level of where Cat and where Chappelle is at, Chris Rock even talked about it. Chris Rock was getting his Netflix special together. He was hitting different bars where he got his comeuppance at, to where it wasn't promoted. It was just a surprise for the night. Like, okay, we'll come to the stage, Chris Rock. Oh, shit, Chris Rock. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say, oh, shit, Chris Rock, but I get what you're saying.
You're not a Chris Rock fan?
I know. I think he's awful.
Really?
I truly think he's awful. Like, it's been certain stand-ups or certain little stuff where I've heard like little one-liner jokes. And I was like, okay, that's kind of funny. But for the most part, I've never been a Chris Rock fan.
Wow.
Ever.
At least in this room, you're alone on that one. I've always been a
I
fan
know
of Chris
I'm
Rock.
alone in 99% of the rooms I go to that say that. I just have never been a Chris Rock, D.L. Hughley,
D.L.
even Cedric sometimes. Not funny.
I liked his last special.
His last special was cool.
That's
why I say
good.
sometimes. But Chris Rock, I've never liked Chris Rock.
Said is hit and miss. But DL, if he's not talking shit about people in the crowd, it's kind of like, you
and
know
then
what I mean?
now, even talking shit about people in the crowd now is not even like
you can't even do it.
Yeah, you can't.
He's going to end up getting caught up.
Right, he do that now to stand up. He'll never get a show again.
Right, but
sensitive ass America.
Chris would he would go to all the old spots that he was coming up at, and he would just try these jokes out. So Chris said by the time that you see the actual special, he's probably ran the show 6 or 7 times. And he said there's been times where he ran the show and he'll say a joke and he either got crickets or he got booed. And I was like, wow, I can't imagine Chris Rock getting booed.
I can.
Probably by your ass, no matter. You be the one nigga in the Netflix special, boo!
That
boo!
Shit boo, you stink. That episode of SpongeBob. Boo, you stink.
He's fucking childish. But yeah, so I assume that's how they all do it. And then I think and what makes it kind of more present to me is seeing all the videos of Chappelle that came out prior to him finally having his special.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying he did all that solely for the special, but just to get himself back to that place of selling out shows and stuff like that, he probably just went on his little chitlin circuit tour and, just test out what he could. I remember when Chappelle came here, it was, what was the comedy show? It was some tour that was going on, and he was the headliner. He had a couple undercard cats that were trash, and then when he came up, it wasn't even like a stand-up comedy show. He was just talking.
Just talking.
And it was just hilarious. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
to know that that's how they, well, to at least to know how some of the comedians build up to what they're going to do, that's how they get it done. I think it works out pretty good. But then how do you stop the cats from actually putting the videos out and putting the jokes up and stuff? Oh my God, Chris Rock was at so-and-so today.
I think a lot of the places what they're doing, man, is taking your phones or if you get caught with your phone, like hell, Kevin Hart said it all the time. Like when he goes on the Breakfast Club, they talk about how DJ Envy got kicked out of one of his shows for having his phone. That's what you got to do. I think comedians, they're in a tight spot, and I respect them so much because they truly have passion for it. But they're in a tight spot because if you say stuff like Dave Chappelle, you get backlash. You got to worry about people leaking your jokes. You know what I mean? You got to worry about people leaking when you're getting booed and stuff like. To hear Chris Rock, even though I don't fuck with him, but to hear, I know the man's a legend. To hear him getting booed, or to hear Dave Chappelle getting booed, and you're like, what?
Like, what happened?
Yeah, you know what I mean. So,
but they gotta work. They gotta work through the jokes.
They gotta work. Yeah. They gotta work through it. So I respect their hustle so much.
But speaking of comedians in a tough spot, all right. So Monique, let me see. We say nice things before we start to go into people's lives. Monique is an Oscar award-winning actress, not for comedy, but she has an Oscar.
Precious was hilarious.
I hate you for that.
Monique's character was fucking hilarious.
I think a lot of people had some flashbacks dealing with Monique's character. It's a lot of black households right there. But great actress. She's done a lot in her career. With that being said, that was so long ago. So, of course, with everyone seeing what's going on, Netflix offered her $500K for a special. Even though $500K does seem low for someone with her, no, hear me out. I see you shaking your head. $500K does seem low for someone with her resume, but a Netflix special for someone with her visibility, that's what kind of blew me away. Like, wait, really? This is what Netflix is doing right now? We haven't heard from Monique in forever.
Haven't seen her or heard from her in this decade.
Exactly, in this decade. The last time I saw her from Monique, she had a talk show.
I think it was like 2008.
Right. So that kind of blew me away. But now you're looking at the situation. She's pissed because she got offered $500K when Dave and Chris Rock got offered $20 million. Amy Schumer got $11 million. I think those are like her three main people to go to. Now, because of that, she's calling for a boycott of Netflix. But like I said, we ain't seen Monique. We ain't seen Monique in a cool minute. And then everybody's, well, I'm not even saying everybody because a lot of people agree, like, get the fuck out of here. Say you should have took the $500K, had your Netflix special, started over. Low key, that's how I feel too. Because at least we would have heard from Monique and she would have been reestablished to the general public.
Right.
Because she ain't been doing shit.
Right.
How do you feel about the call for boycott before I get into my point?
Well, number one, I ain't boycotting Netflix. She can kiss my ass. Netflix gave me Black Mirror and Stranger Things. I ain't boycotting shit. However, and this is I know I'm with this. I'm going to go off on a tangent. But when she starts naming other comedians, I'm like, number one, you're not on the same caliber as Chappelle or Rock, period. Okay? You're just not. Now, with Amy Schumer, I guess you can kind of feel some kind of way about that because, honestly, the woman is not funny. But at the same time, she's been in movies. She's been making her rounds. So I understand, even though I don't agree with it, I understand why they offered her that much, or why they gave her that much money. And when I say off on a tangent, because Tracy Ellis Ross is kind of doing the same thing, but that's a different story. I honestly think, like you, I think she should have took this $500K, killed it. I'm talking about killed it to where they have no choice but to give you more money for it.
Exactly.
That's what she should have did. Now she's in a position where you done went off, and what she get on Instagram or Twitter or whatever the case, did her little rant, and now it's like nobody's gonna offer you no money then.
Right, because now you seem unappreciative.
Right. And Netflix is not gonna come back, okay, we'll give you $1 million because you're upset. No, like she kind of shot herself in the foot.
She did. And I agree with that. I see that Wanda Sykes, she actually replied to on Twitter saying that thanks for speaking out. Netflix offered her less than half less than $500,000. And she was offended, but she found another home in Epics.
Who, Wanda said
Wanda
that?
Sykes.
She ain't funny to me either. She lucky she got that much.
Damn. You don't like nobody. You talking about being with movies.
Nah, man. I just don't like, I get it. You know what I mean? You comedian, you made your movies, but that's like me right now. You know what I mean? Talking about the stats I used to put up in fucking high school. I'm 28 years old.
That is my exact point I was about to get to. So with Wanda Sykes and with Monique getting lowballed,
Got what they deserve.
I would agree. I would agree with that exactly. I feel like they got offered for what they've been doing. Now, one of the arguments to make it seem like men ain't shit, even though there's a lot of women saying that, you know, Monique got what she deserved, but that's a whole other podcast. One of the comments is that y'all saying she was gone for 10 years, but so was Chappelle. One, no, he wasn't. Chappelle got back on the circuit.
Right.
Chappelle got back, started selling out shows. You started hearing Chappelle's name. He was getting mentioned all over the place. He did the Def Jam show. Like, Chappelle was back in the public eye. And then, boom, got the special. Chris Rock started touring again. Started getting back into the public eye. Did SNL with Chappelle. Boom, got the special. He reestablished his name. We haven't heard from Monique or Wanda Sykes.
And even when we did hear from you, you can't. Those two people that you named were at the top tier of that sport. You know what I mean? Those people, if comedy stopped today, those two are going to be in the top 5 names.
Right. There's going to be the Jordan and Magic.
Monique, you're not.
Right.
Like you're not even at the top of your own within your peers.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right. Tiffany Haddish got that spot.
yeah. I think they got, and I'm including Wanda in this, they got what their name alone could generate. Now it's up to them to say, okay, this is the content that I'm offering.
And it's crazy that they don't recognize, man, my resume speaks for itself, but it also stops at 2008.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, your resume speaks for itself, but what have you done for me lately?
Basically.
You know what I mean? If you want to talk about resume, if you go through Donald Trump's resume, he's been pictured with rappers and black actors and all this other shit, but he's a racist today. No one's bringing up his resume, so it really shouldn't fault. It's about what you're doing right now.
Exactly. And even if you...
Kanye was one of the most prolific fucking producers and one of the dopest lyricists all the way leading up to Yeezus, and now Kanye's crazy.
Right.
What are you doing today?
Right. I want to know, even the work that she has been doing that we may have not have seen is not resonating as funny. You know what I mean? We've put it this way. We're on especially, this is one of the benefits that comedians could have with the social media age. You're directly connected with your fans. We have not seen you on shit.
Nothing.
You have not.
The last time we heard Monique's name, she was dissing a shit ton of people.
And I think that was a few years ago.
Yeah, that was the most recent thing. Is she was dragging a whole bunch of comedians that she didn't have a reason dragging.
Like you're not giving us no content even within. You could have easily went on a Instagram post and said some funny shit. Hell, Cardi B was doing that for what?
Right.
Vine or Instagram, whatever is helped her
get on Love and Hip Hop. Right?
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I ain't got no sympathy for Monique, and I'm damn sure ain't canceling shit.
Right, Netflix been too good to me.
Right.
Now here's one of the things that definitely pissed me off. She said she's humble, but
she was humble, she wouldn't have made the video.
Oh no! Trust me, it got worse. She said that she is the most decorated comedian alive today.
I'm sorry, what?
She is the most decorated comedian alive today.
I'm sorry, come again.
She said that on Sway in the Morning. The most.
Sway should have canceled the interview right then and there.
That pissed me off because I'm like, no, you're not. You're not even kind of.
So Eddie Murphy just dead?
Eddie Murphy's gone. If you didn't know, he was gone.
He's gone.
I think I guess if you're talking about alive, I guess she got Richard Pryor. You know, since he's out of here. But then you also got Kevin Hart, who sold out, football stadiums,
right.
O2 Arena. And then when you really look at it, you could name, boom, Eddie Murphy, Delirious, Eddie Murphy.
Man, Monique fell off soon as she got skinny.
Oh, but let's not forget about Martin Luther King. Let's not forget about Martin Lawrence. Come on now. When you go through the list of the highest grossing stand-up comedy specials, She's not going to be on there.
Nope.
And then when you actually think about the Monique,
Was she on that Def Jam shit?
no, she didn't go because she beefs with a lot of them that were there. I think she beefs with all of the queens of comedy. I think that's why some more wasn't there either.
Some more's way funnier than Monique.
Hella funnier.
Bad too, but she's way funnier than Monique.
And a freak. But, we digress. Now,
I ain't even gonna dive into that.
I bet you would dive into that.
I'm gonna say, how do you know she a freak?
What? Are you serious? You must not listen to any some more stand-ups.
I know she a freak, but you were saying it like personally.
Oh, no, if I did, I'd have a whole ass story to tell. Like, well, tuck in, folks. Time to talk. But when you think about Monique's even stand-up specials, the only solo Monique stand-up special I could think of is I Could Have Been Your Cellmate. Other than that, the last Monique stand-up I could think of was Queens of Comedy.
Yeah. And
before that was her appearing on Def Comedy Jam. I'm not used
her appearing on the Parkers.
Or the Parkers. Well, I'm just keeping it.
She wasn't even funny on the Parkers.
She was decent.
The what's her name?
The daughter?
She made that show.
Countess Vaughn?
She made that show.
Yeah.
You take her off that show is not what it was.
Honestly, you take anybody off that show, except for the white girl with the ass. I can't think of her name. Jana Van Oy. You take her off the show, nothing's really going to go missing.
True.
But other than that, we're really getting off subject. I'm not familiar with Monique as a stand-up comedian. I'm familiar with her as a comedy actress.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with her being a stand-up comedian. So to really come out the mouth and say I'm the most decorated comedian alive today,
she was high.
And especially if she's going off that Oscar, because I'm like, okay, by your logic, because you have an Oscar as a stand-up comedian, you're the most decorated. But then you have people like Whoopi Goldberg, who's a stand-up comedian, has an Oscar, a Tony, and a Grammy. So by your logic, you're still not the most decorated comedian.
Exactly.
That would be Whoopi Goldberg, who's also funnier than Monique.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't get it. I think this fake outrage shit is just getting way too big.
Not only even with this, but just in general. Everybody's sensitive about something, and everybody got some fucking fake outrage. It's really annoying. It truly is.
Whatever gets the conversation started.
Right, but in the case of Monique, man, I honestly feel like she shot herself in the foot. Because now you done messed up the bag with Netflix. I don't give a damn whether you thought you deserve more or not. $500K is $500K.
Right.
That's $500K less that you have now.
What she should have done is she should have made her round. She should have talked to other female comedians that she's close to, like Wanda Sykes. You'd be like, yo, did they ever come at y'all with some bullshit like this? And Wanda could be like, yeah, they tried to give me less than that. But I got with Epics. And she could have jumped ship to Epics.
Yeah. And
then had a whole spiel about it in the stand-up comedy show. She could have reestablished herself in one show with Epics and hold Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And then boom, Monique is back on the map. And everything would have been different. But she decided another way.
Now you bagless and ranting on Instagram.
And you talking about get rid of your Netflix account? Niggas ain't got cable. And you want me to get rid of my Netflix
account? What?
You bugging.
What? You know how many... Man, I've been watching Planet Earth 2 for the past couple days. You think I'm about to get rid of this shit?
I ain't finna get rid of that for some regular ass cable.
Right. I'm watching recordings of fucking snow leopards and you want me to get rid of it. You out your damn mind.
Yeah, so I actually want to hear how the Ear Hustlers are feeling about Monique and the boycott for Netflix. How's that going? Any of y'all boycotting Netflix? Let us know. I can't even get it out without slapping. Let us know how y'all feel about it. Let us know if you're boycotting Netflix. Now getting on to our favorite subject, hip hop. And I'm actually going to let Hollywood Kev lead this because this is his favorite rapper.
Who? Ja's not my favorite rapper.
No, obviously not Ja.
Fifth honestly ain't my favorite rapper, but he's
in top 5.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought this was hilarious, personally, but I don't know where this stems from. Like, I don't know how this started recently. I mean, I know how it started, but I don't know how, I don't know where Ja's Twitter rant came from. To me, it was like, I woke up, so happened to get on Twitter, and I was like, oh, we in 03. All right.
So, 50, he had an interview with Big Boy in the morning.
Oh, see, I didn't see that one. I saw the Breakfast Club, and I didn't see the Big Boy joint.
But he really didn't say anything on the Breakfast Club.
Everything was Den of Thieves.
Yeah, Den of Thieves.
Fire, by the way.
Yeah, I've heard. I definitely got to see that one. But he did an interview with Big Boy in the morning, and Big Boy asked him, outside of the time y'all ran into each other on the airplane, will there be, you know, like if you guys would end up in the same area, like what would it be about? And 50 was like, I put him to sleep. Like, come on, man, you know what that is.
Right.
Now, I rarely try to stick up for 50 because I think 50 couldn't even stick up for 50. He knows what the fuck he be saying and how he be meaning it. This is one of those true moments that I don't think he meant it how he said it. I think when he said I put him to sleep, he probably was perceiving the question like, if y'all were to ever meet up and there be an issue. I think that's 50 just saying I whoop his ass. If there was an issue, I don't think it was like I'm just gonna fuck him up on sight because we've already seen that's not gonna happen.
Right.
So I felt like that's how he was responding. And again, I'm not making an excuse for 50. I'm just saying he probably was replying to that rather than replying to if y'all were gonna be if y'all had another plane ride or if y'all were at the same fucking Winco or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Ja goes on Twitter.
Where's Ja? See, we need a Ja.
Where's Ja?
That would have been perfect drop for that one.
Fun hip hop fact: at 50 Cent is pussy. That was that.
You reading tweets?
Yeah, it is the tweets that he had. So he puts, LOL, you sure you want to do this? You remember what happened last time? This is somebody saying this to Ja now.
Oh, this is somebody replying.
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
Laughing at what Ja said. Sure you want to remember what happened last time? Ja responds, yeah, I do. At 50 Cent got beat up, stabbed, and shot. What do you remember? And then he also said, and to all you journalists, bloggers, radio personalities, don't be scared to ask at 50 Cent, why did he get an order of protection? Or did I whoop him out at the studio? Or did he talk to the feds? Yeah.
See, what's interesting about that is if you were immersed in the hip hop, this beef in particular, back when, 03, 04, that you know what really happened and what didn't happen.
Right.
You've heard it from not only 50 and Ja, but you've heard it from inner workings on both circles. So you know what really was going on. I think this was Ja's sadly attempt at trying to, have some of the eyes looking back at him.
Right, because the last time we looked at Ja was for the Fire Festival, and that wasn't really the most positive eyes. Honestly, the way it came out, I feel like Irv Gotti hacked this nigga's account or took his phone while he was in the bathroom. It was like, 50 said, what? Tweet. Because this is some shit Irv would do. Because Irv was talking on the Breakfast Club about 50. Irv has been talking about 50 as if it is 2001 right
This is why
now.
I said this shit came out of left field. Like, wait a minute, Ja. I mean, Fifth has said stuff or took subtle jabs or whatever the case was, but this is kind of left field for you.
Right. It's super left field. And if you really took offense to just a subtle jab to the point where you got to bring up the fact that your people jumped, stabbed, and shot this nigga, like, what's the point? Where's this going to lead to? No one wants to hear bars from you. And all respect to Fifth, no one wants to hear bars from 50 either.
No, you ain't been listening to Fifth's most recent shit, though.
No,
Fifth might be in that bag.
No, I'm not saying he's saying got it anymore, but people aren't checking for 50 Cent for records anymore, especially since Power and now with Den of Thieves. Like, people are looking at 50 the way they're looking at Joe. Joe's never lost it, but no one's necessarily looking for a Joe Budden album.
This is where we actually disagree, and I'm not saying disagree at fan part. I'm talking about like from what I've seen from other people. Like I've seen the singles that Fifth has came out with. People are like, yo, like this. I'm interested to see what the new shit is gonna be. I think actually
from like dedicated 50 fans.
No, people that haven't even been 50 fans. Like it's a few people on there that take shots at Fifth, or you know what I mean. But they've heard the track with him and Jeremiah was like, yo, this shit hard. His album might be dope. I've heard this from various non-traditional 50 fans, and I think he may attempt to do what at least I would hope Budden would have did, and that's use Den of Thieves, use Power to put out records, and people taking that his recognition, on those shows and be like, okay, he got music too. But I do agree with you. Nobody's looking for bars to Ja from Fifth. Nobody's looking at exchange
no one's checking for.
That's like a Mason Cam exchange.
Exactly.
Nobody's checking for that.
We're gonna get conversation about it for 2 weeks, and then that's gonna be that.
Yeah.
The only reason it's entertaining now is because this is the last real beef of hip hop. Murder Inc. and Aftermath. Like that was the last true hip hop beef. All this other shit is either some bubblegum shit or it's some street shit.
Right.
But as far as organic hip hop beef that just evolved into all these other things, that was the last one.
Yeah, I can rock with you with that.
And the fact that ended so long ago, no one's checking for that shit right now.
Yeah. Shit, a lot of the people now that you see on this new age social media platform, like they were probably kids when this was going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like what, 03, 04? What is that? 14, 15 years ago? Mm-hmm. Like you got kids that are teenagers that probably don't even know what the fuck that is.
Right.
Or if they are grown, they were 4.
Exactly.
They really don't
this cats of adults, it was like, I didn't know what the hell was happening. By the time they actually started paying attention to hip hop, it's like, oh, they're not beefing anymore? Who's Tupac? Oh, okay. It's the natural conversation after that.
Right. I'm just since Ja came out with those tweets, I've been trying to figure out what would be his purpose. Like, are we gonna get a record? Are we gonna get an album? Like,
exactly. What's your exit strategy?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Were you doing this just to have something to talk about for that day? Mm-hmm. I don't get it personally. Did 50 even say anything to?
I don't know. I haven't seen 50 respond to it. I think.
Right, and that's how you know if Fifth ain't respond to, that's how you know he even feels it's beneath him, because this nigga talk about everybody.
Exactly. And the only time he even goes in on niggas like that is when they ask him questions. Now, granted, we haven't seen an interview with 50 since it happened, so that's his next interviews. They're gonna bring it up, so we'll definitely keep our eyes out for that. Mm-hmm. But as far as taking shots at anybody, he don't even address shit until it gets brought up. Like the fact that people still bring up what was said about Jada Kiss and all this other stuff, like none of that has anything to do with what he's doing right now.
Right.
So now that Josh saying something, now that's forcing the media to reintroduce the situation. What I can see 50 doing is like, I'm not about to waste my breath on a 15-year-old beef. Right. This is literally going to do nothing for my career. I'm going to keep poking at him. I'm going to tease him. Like, now I'm about to be fifth. You know what I'm saying? Right. But as far as anything else, not really on it. Like, I can see him taking that route and just being a troll and just trolling niggas' career. That's what he did to Irv. Yeah, He's been trolling Irv since Irv got out.
Yeah, that's true. I can see that. And the sad part is with Irv and with Ja, like, you're not going to even win that trolling scenario. This man has he top shows, top movies. Like,
all facets of beef 50 will win at.
yeah, you know what I mean? I did think it was funny, though, because I did wake up like, damn, we in 03. We're in fucking 03.
A sensitive version of 03.
Yeah. I hate how the world is so sensitive now. You can't say nothing about nobody. You can't, like, when did we become so sensitive?
When they realized there's money in outrage. When it got popular to get likes, when it got popular to get shares and follows, you realize you can become your own celebrity through social media.
That's crazy, because if it's done the right way, you literally hold unlimited power with your fucking phone.
Mm-hmm. If you make the right outrage sentence, you officially got.
I'm not even talking about outrage. I'm talking about in general. You
can
in
general for sure.
Like for sure, attempt to run the world, or at least your world, all on your phone.
Show some titties, make the right comment. You're guaranteed 30,000, 40,000 retweets, reposts, the whole nine.
It's crazy, and it's crazy how much having people like your content or follow you can determine your wealth in a sense.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? That's wild. That's wild.
Social media changes lives completely.
Shit, it need to change. That's probably what Ja doing. He looking for social media to change his life.
He said, "This is it.
That's what he doing." He was like, you know what? If I can get out there, make some noise, even if it's negative, then I can get back out there, make another Rule 336 Part 2, something.
Oh, it's if it's Rule 336, and it'll technically be Rule 337.
337.
It'd be the next one.
Yeah.
Or 437. I don't know.
I don't know. What do you do when you were once an artist at the top or climbing to top? Because he was that nigga for a good portion.
He was him for a cool minute.
What do you do when you fall from grace like that? And it's been so long since you put out music. Like, obviously he can't put out music right now and expect people to actually want to listen to him. Maybe if he got some hardcore fans still in there, maybe they'll get it. But like, what do you do when you are that type of artist and now like people know your name, but not because honestly people probably don't even know his name now because of the music. They know his name because he no longer has a career.
No, they know.
I mean, they know his music, but for the majority of it, like, it's because this man doesn't have a career. We literally watched a giant get his ass kicked in a nutshell.
At that point, you kind of you bow out gracefully, or you change lanes. That's the only thing you can do. Like, you look at it
He
now.
tried to change lanes, and that festival ain't work out.
It really ain't work out too great. That was weather. That was God. God was like, nah, this ain't going down. You take your L, sir. But yeah, man, you bow out gracefully, you change lanes. In his unfortunate situation, he was that guy until 50 came up and was like, y'all really feeling this nigga? Why are y'all feeling him? It's because he's a murderer with no bodies.
Let me tell y'all. Let me tell y'all the truth.
Let me tell you exactly who Jeffrey Atkins is, and he caught that win, and that's what happened. It's crazy because people were dissing Ja for what they love Drake for today. Because if you look at it, Drake's blueprint as an artist is the exact same as Ja. Drake claims to be with the Killers.
Drake
has
is
a
a
crew.
Ja. Drake is a light-skinned Ja.
He raps. He's a light-skinned Ja. It's the exact same thing.
Can we really call Ja singing? Because it wasn't. I mean, he was harmonizing, but what are really singing?
I'm gonna say yes, only because Ja has been on the R&B charts.
Well, no, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about his actual vocal skills. I'm not talking about.
No, of course not.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. His actual skills. Like, this man can't.
There's a
really
lot of cats
sing.
you could bring up that have no vocal skills whatsoever and somehow still flourished in the industry.
That's true.
There's a lot of niggas that got that.
That's very true.
I mean, I love him to death. Rest in peace to the legend. Nate Dogg wasn't a great singer.
That's true.
I ain't never heard him spit a verse.
He can harmonize his
He
ass
can
off.
harmonize his ass off. I forgot what they said. I think they said he was like a monotone performer or some shit like that. I mean, either way, rest in peace to Nate Dogg. But at the end of the day, it's all about what the industry is going to bill you as. Ja, they would always say he's a rapping singer or a singing rapper. And again, the man has been on the R&B charts.
That's true. Niggas
like
singing with Mary J. Blige.
Right.
About them rainy days.
All of those rainy days. He sung that entire song.
He did.
That entire song.
He
You couldn't
did.
tell Ja he wasn't a rapper.
He did.
But yeah, that same blueprint is what Drake is doing today. We can actually transition to Drake's ass right now, pause. But kind of wrap up on the 50 and Ja thing. This isn't going to go anywhere further than the next 2 weeks.
Shit, if it ain't already gone by now.
No, we have to see if 50's going to, and I don't think 50's just going to let that gloss over. He's going to address it. Because I'm pretty sure he's still doing some pub for Den of Thieves. He's going to address it. But it's after that, then what? 'Cause I guarantee you we're going to hear more from Irv Gotti before we hear from 50 or Ja.
Where are we hearing from Irv at? Like, what is he?
Social media, we get updates on all that shit.
I don't follow him like that, so.
I don't follow none of these niggas, but guess what? They're a subject here today. We're going to find out about it.
Man, for the sake of people.
I follow Fifth. I can't even say it.
Oh, yeah, I follow
I just thought about it.
For the sake of people, though, and human beings, I hope this doesn't transpire into some street shit. Because it could easily become one of those things like, man, I'm sick of all this fucking talking. I'm tired of you running your mouth. Take these hot ones. It could transition. And honestly, it can transition to something like that for on Ja's side. Ja can be like, man, I'm tired of this nigga fucking with me. Take these hot ones.
It could if this was 2009. I think both of them are in too many different areas of their career at this moment. Like 50 is a legit businessman.
Right.
50 is because
He's a mogul.
Exactly. 50 Cent is a mogul. Ja is trying to get there. But I know he cut a lot of relationships during his attempt to get there.
And this is why I say he could, who knows what that man is thinking, but this is why I feel like it could transpire. It can really become to one of those things where he looks at 50 like, you ruined my career. You know what I mean? I got this shit going on with this punk ass festival. I can't make music no more. I'm struggling to find a lane. Nigga, you're the root cause to all of my problems.
To all these issues.
You know what I
right.
mean? Like, nigga, when I see you, you gonna catch this nine. You know what I mean?
Misunderstanding.
Right. You know what I mean? It really could turn into something like that. I hope it doesn't, for the sake of people being humans. I don't want to see humans get killed, but it really could transpire into something like that.
I would, if it's going to turn into anything, I'd rather it stay at bars, even though I don't even
right.
Want to
Don't even want it to be bar, but I'd rather it stay on that level.
Stay at bars. I think they're too far past that lifestyle. You know, I'm not saying 50 just doesn't have shooters. I know 50 has shooters, but I know that in this you can get away with shit like that before social media was so big. Nowadays, you'll hear Ja Rule shot. They're going to be on this nigga Instagram, this nigga Facebook, looking up this person's records, and it's going to tie direct. 50 will be arrested that week.
True.
You know what I'm saying? I think because we're in a different era now, he can't move like that. So he might as well just stick with the mogul moves and just troll this nigga.
Well, I don't mean on Fifth part. I mean solely on Josh part. I agree with you.
No,
Fifth might be
on
on that same mind frame. Like, man, this shit's beneath me. But Ja be like, nah, nigga.
Yeah, but
You're going to catch one of these rainy days. That's what he's saying.
Just... You also had that record. I think the rain is calling murder. It was like
I don't remember that.
You remember that joint?
No.
It's what was the beat? The beat was the doom 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 doom.
I don't remember that one.
That was a whole ass single. And guess what? He sang that entire song.
I don't remember.
He had
that.
a couple bars in there, but anyway, this is just funny talking about Josh Rain.
You know, every time we talk about a song or whatever, and it's like an old song, you always get on the mic and you start doing the beat and break it down.
And nothing happens. Nothing comes from like that. Doesn't help. I feel like me doing this, me trying to give you that example is the equivalent of being like, you know, Johnny, putting and changing the inflection of saying Johnny doesn't help me know who the fuck Johnny is.
Still don't know the nigga.
Still don't know who Johnny is. You're like, oh, Johnny. Nope.
Mm-mm.
Don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, well, fuck a Hollywood Kev. Just putting that out there right now. Moving on to Drake. So he just recently dropped 2 singles, God's Plan and Diplomatic Immunity. Have you heard them?
Yes.
Your thoughts?
Initially, I was a little excited, not saying that I'm a huge Drake fan, but because I just been wanting some new music.
Right.
But when I heard it, and I think I heard God's Plan first. I didn't like him. I really didn't like him. And then when I heard Diplomatic Immunity, I was like, oh, he's taking shots. So I got excited for what that potentially could be. But far as overall records, I didn't like it. Sometimes Drake, to me, the production choices are bad. You know what I mean? Like the beats, the way it was mixed, it was just bad, especially on Diplomatic Immunity. I really didn't care for that song too much. Which leads me to believe that we're about to get another poppy garbage album.
I agree. I agree with everything you said, honestly. And just to be forward, both songs are boring as fuck.
That's what it is.
Drake has officially thrown in the towel when it comes down to lyrics, and I think he is truly transitioning into the pop star that he wants to be.
That's what it is. I couldn't put my finger on it, but that's what it is. It's boring.
It's boring as fuck. Like, listening to his lyrics, first of all, God's Plan is definitely Lil Uzi Vert. If they came out and said Lil Uzi Vert ghost wrote God's Plan, I'm like, I believe it. If you go back and anybody go back and listen to that record, that is Lil Uzi Vert swag all day.
I'm not familiar with Uzi. That's why I can't even.
Have you ever? Well, I guarantee you, I'm pretty sure you've heard at least one time that All My Friends Are Dead shit.
Yeah, I skipped over a few times.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. If you think about that record, he has the same fucking flow on God's Plan. The only reason I can use that as an example because Lil Uzi Vert raps like that on all of his records.
Does.
It's the exact, and he even goes da 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 yeah da 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 da.
Yeah,
it's a Uzi Vert flow.
Like, you know what? When you think about it, Drake might have been slowly introducing that type of style. I think with the last album. Or with different features, if you really think about it, he might have been transitioning.
Even though I thought More Life was trash.
Not necessarily More Life. I'm talking about the features he's been doing. He'll kind of give the lines and stuff like that. Well,
Drake is a culture vulture. He sticks with what's popping. So when I heard that in Diplomatic Immunity he was taking shots, I'm like, okay, he's gonna actually rap.
That's what I thought.
He was rapping. Mm-hmm. He wasn't stealing anybody's flow. But it was one.
It seemed like he was more talking to me than
he
rapping.
was more talking. He literally. It's about to be rude as fuck. Drake raps like a deaf guy. Like it's almost like I can feel the vibrations of my voice, but I can't control the volume and the intensity of how I'm doing it.
He raps like a pubescent teen.
Exactly. He raps in Braille. And
Jesus Christ.
Nah, man, because it really does piss me off because I really used to be a Drake fan. Like literally leading, and I even went back and listened to fucking Take Care and fell in love with the album. So I was a Drake fan all the way up to Take Care, and then he's just been giving me the most bubblicious shit ever since. Yeah, and it's insulting, kind of.
Yeah.
But anyway, getting back to it, the record was boring, and then the unnecessary shots. You know, you go on that Budden. Budden championed you throughout the latter part of the second season of the first season of Everyday Struggle.
Shit, he was bigging up Drake every chance
he got, he was bigging up Drake. And now all of a sudden he's off the show. He gets the Revolt deal. Now Drake's like, oh no, you can't. I refuse to let you win after you came after me. And now all of a sudden he's taking shots at him and Academics. Academics, I understand. Everybody takes shots at Academics. Right. I'm convinced he's like a practice, like he's a heavy bag.
He's like a human pincushion.
Exactly. But I'm like, come on, dude. Dude had the best year of his life. He's bouncing back. He admitted defeat in the fucking beef, knowing damn well you didn't respond.
Right.
Like,
he didn't, far as beef standards, he didn't lose.
He didn't lose, exactly. He technically won. But as far as, societal standards, he lost, and he admitted to it. So now you're taking a random shot out of nowhere, and everybody's about to come, oh, he's about to eat Budden alive with bars. No, he's not. It was just an unnecessary shot. But I will say this. He was talking to, if you remember on the Joe Budden podcast, he said, there's been some rumblings that a certain nigga is trying to come at me, and if he say something to me, I'll come out of retirement.
I was just about to mention that, because me personally, I don't know who it could be. To me, it's either going to be Drake or Big Sean. That's only because Budden has been critical of Sean. Mm-hmm.
But I think we talked about in the last episode, I don't think he'll come out for Big Sean.
Right. But Drake with this whole thing, Budden better do something. When I heard this track, I tweeted and I was like, look, I'm tired of you being MC Food. I'm gonna need something to happen.
I saw that.
I'm gonna need something to happen, man, because this shit is getting annoying.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like when I don't have any older siblings, but I'm assuming it must be like when you got an older brother and you just watching your older brother get bullied and he just so joyous. Oh man, don't even worry about it, little bro. Everything just cool. Fuck that shit,
Let's
man.
all just be friends.
Yeah. And I get it. You know what I mean? He just had a kid. He's in the love of his life. He had a amazing 2017. I get it. But fuck all that, man. Get this nigga some bars. This time he actually press you on the issue.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like this situation, to my
you
knowledge,
dissed him
was
a
deaded.
year ago.
Yeah, I thought this situation was deaded. So for him to resurface and come back out, and what did you feel about his shot, like the actual bars? How did you feel about that?
I thought it was clever wordplay.
I
thought
too.
It was, but that's one thing that I give Drake. Now that I've seen him make 3 diss records, I give Drake that he is a flashy bravado rapper. Everything about him is quirky, it's goofy. Like when you hear, like Drake probably used to be one of the best shit talkers back in school. Like when people would come after him, say, hey, what a big matzo eating motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? And when diss him, he probably had some fire comebacks in school. But again, the delivery, he's a Braille rapper.
Right.
And when you rap in Braille, it's not that entertaining. No. So I felt like the punchlines would have hit harder if he had a little more energy. This song, I would have enjoyed this song if he had the same energy that he had on 5 a.m. Toronto.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if this song is going to end up being a throwaway record.
Oh, it had to be.
Because has he put out any official...
Well, that's what Drake does. He gives you like 12 throwaway records, and then he gives you a throwaway album.
Well, I'm saying, has he put out... Yeah, I did. Has he put out any official release date for his album or anything like that?
Nah, he just... You know how Drake does. Like, the album's coming this year, and then...
Right, so this very well could be him just putting out different records just to see what the climate is.
Yeah, just to see how people feel.
Yeah,
we'll be getting a very poppy bubblegum record soon, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm at yeah. What is we're about to hit February? Of course, we got to hit something that's going to go into spring. So yeah,
with how he's if we go off of Drake's track record, he's probably going to drop random singles till about April, and then he's going to kick off summertime with an album.
Think so?
I really do feel that way because if
that's
he's
not
smart,
far-fetched.
It's not far-fetched, especially with him coming at Joe so early in the year after he just had the best year of his life.
Yeah.
I think what Drake is doing is he's going to build up enough credibility, and there's heavy quotes on my end. I'm putting them on the mic at that. He's going to try to build up his credibility as a rapper, as an MC, and battle Joe Budden, establish himself as a rapper, and then drop a rap album.
I do think a rap album is gonna come only because we've got
because More Life was trash.
Well, yeah, but we gotten 2 because I think Views wasn't really a rap album either.
No, it wasn't.
So I think we got 2 non-rap albums.
But More Life really wasn't a rap album.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Somebody finally told him, Drake, you're not Jamaican. Sit the fuck down.
However, and this sucks. I don't think Budden's gonna say anything. I don't think Budden's gonna. I'll know for sure when I listen to his podcast. That's when we kind of get, the gist of everything. But if Drake comes out with another record, it could be the most subtlest jab at Joe. We're gonna get a song within 48 hours from that record.
I'm surprised we haven't gotten the song now.
I know we're not gonna get a song now. I know we're not, because we would have already gotten one. He probably chuckled at it, but I guarantee you, if there's even the faintest rumblings that there's going to be another one, that's when we're going to get around.
I'm checking YouTube every day for the new Joe Budden podcast because he's going to address it. That's
he's going to address it.
That's one thing I love about Joe. He doesn't run from shit.
He's gonna, you know what? Maybe that's probably why we haven't heard a song. He's going to address it on the show, whether it be a diss or whether him be able to laugh it off, and that may determine what Drake's next move is. Because it'd be hard for me to fathom. Budden gets on there and be like, man, this pussy tried to get on here and say X, Y, and Z, that Drake doesn't come back and say something else about that.
You know what's going to piss me off about that? Is that if Joe Budden comes back and says on the show, oh, look at Joe, I thought you was a rapper. Now you just going to talk on your show? I'm like, well, were y'all saying that shit to Drake when Budden ate that man alive?
Yeah, y'all was mad then.
Y'all was mad as fuck.
Y'all was upset.
Y'all were responding for Drake. I was saying, man, fucking fans are so goddamn flip-floppy.
Oh, yeah.
All these motherfuckers
top
be
three fans.
PMSing.
Top three fans I hate, and it's no shade to you. Actually, I'm not even going to say that because as of lately.
I'm about to say, where is this going?
Top three fans I hate: Cowboys fans, Drake fans, or four, Nicki fans, and Laker fans. And that's not to you. Laker fans on my timeline. And that's my Twitter timeline specifically. Because even the Laker fans on my Facebook timeline talk like they got some sense.
That's because Twitter is just meant to piss people off.
It is. But yeah, Drake fans are definitely I cut from a different cloth as far as stupidity goes.
Now, the only way this beef would be entertaining, Drake would have to give us nothing but back to back.
Yeah, he's gonna.
And at the very least, he had to give us that. What was the "Looking for Revenge" track? I forgot what the hell it was called. It was called Summer 16, wasn't it? That "Looking for Revenge."
Yeah. Awesome.
He'd have to, at the very least, he has to give us that through the beef for it to be any kind of entertaining. Lyrically, the nigga's gonna lose, but for me to be any kind of invested, he would have to literally hit Joe where it hurts.
Yeah.
Now, also with that,
but that's dangerous.
I was about to say,
that's
also with
very
that,
dangerous.
Joe just had a kid.
That's very dangerous.
Joe just got a kid. Joe's happy. This is happy Joe.
Listen, I can see Drake coming up with some witty shit like saying something that has. Now, I don't think Dre will stoop down low to actually say something about the kid, but I think he'll say something witty and bring sin involved.
I was about to say like he's not beneath getting in personal relationships.
Well, saying something sinful, because I think when you mess with people's kids, or you talk about, that's very sensitive, and it can.
Trust me,
it can go a different way, especially when you don't have kids. Like Drake doesn't have kids, at least to our knowledge. That can go a different way.
Right. No, we saw with Ja. Your mama's a dope fiend. Your girl is a known slut. So what's Haley gonna be when she grow up? Em was like, now you have to die.
Right.
And Em annihilated him every chance he got.
The crazy part about that is the first diss record that came out after that line, this nigga M was so juiced and so mad, he didn't even rap on that record.
Right.
He ad-libbed the entire record, but you heard the fury that was there.
He showed you what was coming.
Yeah.
And you know what, though? Even though, again, I feel the same way you feel, kids are off limits, that was a hurtful bar.
That bar was heavy. That bar was heavy.
Ooh,
and I say kids are off limits to show that I have some actual respect. But however, in the streets, in this booth, you know what I mean? Like, nigga, anybody can get it you're related to.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I do understand that aspect, but I think it'd be, even if he mentions just sin, he don't say nothing about the kid. If he says something about sin and put it in clever wordplay, I don't know what it would have to be something that would be involving her name. He would have to wordplay it that way.
It would be exactly. It'd be
you're the artist. You're the rapper, not me. So
and that's how I'm thinking about it. He would either have to, if I was in Drake's position as an artist, he would either have to do some clever wordplay, but I don't know. You can only do so much with Sin Santana.
He wouldn't even have to say her whole name.
No, but I'm saying either one of those two.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He would either have to do something clever with Sin Santana, which isn't the easiest thing to do, or he would have to use the fact that he's Drake and he's taken so many niggas' females.
Yeah.
So
he can do that
it
too.
would be one of those lanes for Drake.
He can do that too.
But either way it goes, as soon as he incorporates sin into it, again, that's
This
you're
nigga could
playing
say,
a
I was living in
dangerous-
Sin City. And Joe Budden, what?
Or
Nigga,
no,
what?
There you go. I was living in sin. Like, oh, so you was in my girl. Okay, but do you really want to wake up that sleeping beast in Joe Budden? Like,
And that's
Happy
what I-
Happy
that's what
Joe
I-
is eating. Mad Joe gives you making a murderer.
That's what I feel like people have been doing with this man. They've been slowly just poking at the bear, poking at the bear. Now, when he bites your fucking hand off, don't get mad.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't get mad. And in this particular aspect, being that Joe is coming off a very good year, I don't think Drake's celebrity would play that big of a role as it did previously.
It's not gonna if the fact that
They'll play a
Drake-
role, but it's not that big.
But you know what though? Here's where I think it's different. Drake was able to use his celebrity to get away with it because he didn't. Because according to his fans, he didn't initiate shit when Joe came at him with making a murderer. We know he's coming at Joe. Drake doesn't say niggas' names, so to even have to use the word Budden careers when you're talking about people evaluating hip hop, we know who the fuck you're talking about. You're talking about the
absolutely.
only fucking Budden that we know in entertainment. Now that he's literally put himself on the platform to say, all right, you're gonna rap against him, you might want to out rap him. And that's how he won the Meek Mill beef. Now, granted, he would have went off status alone, but lyrically, Meek Mill's first response was trash. If he came out with the second joint first, we would have had a beef. I'm like, okay,
Right,
cool,
right,
go.
right.
You know what I mean? This situation, Drake brought it to the forefront. Joe's not gonna respond. Drake's probably gonna jab at him again on some back-to-back shit. I'm sorry, Drake's gonna jab at him again on some back-to-back shit, and then Joe's gonna finally get at him. He has to rap, or he's gonna lose. Because now you look stupid because your guy initiated this beef,
Yeah.
and he didn't rap against him. Nigga, you what you're telling me is you punched him and ran.
Basically,
That's ultimately what you did.
gave him a quick jab and said, "Oh, time to go."
Well, that shit. It was our throwback Thursday. He basically did what my man's did from Three Sharks. Tired of this shit, nigga. Just jawed him and left. You know what I mean? And Joe came out of nowhere with the blue. Get him.
Right,
And that was
right.
that from there.
For the sake of music and for the sake of I'm tired of my favorite rapper talking about he's retired, I want some bars.
I want the
You
smoke.
know I want bars. I probably want bars more than anybody. I definitely want bars more than Drake wants right about now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Drake wants none of those bars.
Yeah. Or maybe
Drake dropped that
maybe
shit
he
and started
feel
peeking
like-
through the curtains like, did you hear it? Did you see that shit?
maybe he got something in the chamber. He just waiting.
I don't think Joe has anything in the chamber.
Not
because-
Joe. I'm talking about Drake.
Oh, of course he does.
Maybe Drake got something.
Of course he
maybe
does.
Drake got something. He just waiting to get off. The problem is with somebody like Joe, like with other rappers, if Drake has something in the chamber, he can probably be like, okay, I got, 3 songs in a verse. That can last this beat. But when you're going to get somebody like Joe, you don't have enough.
You never have enough.
You never have
'Cause Joe
enough.
doesn't run out.
You're right. You gotta really annihilate this nigga, and I don't think Drake has that capability.
And that's why I was saying I don't know how far Drake's gonna be willing to go because Joe is bipolar.
Yeah.
By
Yeah.
clinical
by flat out definition.
by clinical definition, Joe is bipolar.
Right.
He has no filter.
Exactly.
You
This man can
have
go
to-
into the booth for 3 days straight.
You have to match Joe's energy, and if you don't, you're going to lose. Now, this makes me happy because this forces Drake to rap. Because Joe not only deaded the situation, he named you the victor in the first quote beef, and he championed you for all the shit that you were actually doing. And now you resurrected this beef only because it's the cool thing to do to talk about the niggas from everyday struggle.
Right.
That's nothing that kind of pisses me off about Drake. Nigga, you're really a culture vulture. Even the Migos pieced it up with Joe.
I saw that.
You know what I'm saying?
I saw that.
And you just gonna jump in out of nowhere. Y'all niggas is just talking about hip hop. Like, come on, man. Like, bro, you really sound
Yeah.
desperate to be respected by hip hop. You chose the pop lane. No one made you
did.
go.
You did because you were given the hip hop lane.
It was yours.
You were given
You
it.
were him. He was like, nah, I'm gonna jump over here. I see
Yeah,
Nicki doing
yeah,
it.
I
I
see
like what
Nicki
Nicki's number is looking like.
I hope we get some.
2018
great
is gonna be
music.
so dope.
It's like I said, even though this month so far, and it definitely hasn't been the worst, but it could have been better.
We've had worse months.
yeah, absolutely.
Especially last year.
I'm so
We actually had worse months in 2016 than what we had last year.
yeah.
So shit, you know?
I'm so optimistic
Perspective.
on 2018 as a whole, on the music side, on what we're doing with beats. on all the things we got to come. Like, I'm so optimistic about 2018. It's crazy. Like,
me too.
It's just one of those things where even after bad shit happens, like I was sick, you know what I mean? I'm like, I could have easily been like, man, fuck this year already. But nah, I'm like, okay, I get over this, and this year is going to work out. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. So I'm excited.
Tell the people where they can find you at, bro.
_ Hollywood Kev on Twitter and on Instagram. Hollywood Kev with a 3 as the E for Snapchat.
Big Los UTC on Twitter. Big Los IG on IG. Big Los on Snapchat. Yeah, it's just Big Los everywhere. I'm glad I own all those names. Of course, follow The Noize at The Noize Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And of course, you can follow Beat Network at Beat_Network on Twitter, Beat Network on Instagram, and Facebook.com/Beat Network 1. Like, share, and subscribe. Of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's where you can hear these shows and other shows, of course. Check out BeatNetworkOnline.com. See some of the articles and some of the things we got going on. And go ahead and copy some merch. BeatNetworkOnline.com/merch. You can skip all the bullshit and go get you a shirt. It's been a good talk. Again, we apologize for it being late. We're gonna get back to Sundays, I promise. Shout out to everybody that's sticking in there with us. There we go.
Appreciate you guys.
We appreciate you guys, definitely. We got a really interesting thing coming in February, really fun thing coming in February. We really hope you guys fuck with it. Well, we know you're gonna fuck with it.
You want to pub it now? I mean, we got
Now,
this show and then
let's
another
wait.
one.
Let's wait. Let's let it simmer. Let's
Okay.
let it sit and let them know that something's coming. You know, let's heat up the food in the microwave and then let them smell it
Gotcha.
before they come down to find out what's cooking. Hi, you see what I did there? Bars.
Drake, you better take heed.
You better take heed, my nigga. As always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, we appreciate your support. And as always, it's Big Los.
Hollywood Kev.
It's The Noize.